Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the DIRTKars Season 2 presented by Falcon Grafix. Tonight, these pro late models will be taking on Bristol Dirt. And this is always an exciting track. Still decently new to the iRacing platform. And it's always a fun race here at Bristol. So far in practice, fastest time is from Randy Rockwell with a 15.92. Second is Colton Malone, 15.95. And Matt George in third with a 15.97. Now Randy Rockwell won last race at Lernerville. And he had won the race before that as well. Which means that if you win 2 races in a row in this league, you will be starting in the back in the feature. So keep that in mind for Randy Rockwell. He's starting in the back when the feature comes around. Also do want to take this time to thank the sponsor for tonight's race, Falcon Grafix. And Falcon Grafix is an iRacing graphics company. They can do paint your iRacing vehicles. And you can find them on Facebook at Falcon Grafix. And I have actually put their Facebook page link in the description of this video. So make sure to check them out. Their paints are decently priced. And you can have a pretty fly looking whatever you want. It can be a cup car, it can be a Baja truck, it can be anything you want it to be. I know Donnie Bartlett is running a paint that was made by Falcon Grafix. And you'll be able to see that when he takes the track. He's right now not in the pits or on track at the moment. Oh, now he is. Yep, there it is right there. That Miller Genuine Draft Pro Late model was created by Falcon Grafix, and as you can see, it's a pretty sweet looking paint scheme. So if you want a paint scheme to look as cool as that one, hit up Falcon Grafix on Facebook. Again, I've put a link to their page in the description. And also, if you haven't already, make sure to visit the Dirty Thursdays website for both the iOS Dirt Domination Series and the DIRTKars Season 2. Where you can find all kinds of different information on both leagues. And the website is kickenasphalt.com. Kicken spelled K-I-C-K-E-N, asphalt.com. And again, you can find all sorts of information on both DIRTKars and iOS Dirt Domination Series, which are the 2 series in Intensity Broadcasting's Dirty Thursdays. We are gridding for our heat race. And looks like we're only going to have 1 heat race with every single car in the session. And this heat race will determine the starting lineup for the main. So let's go ahead and look at the starting lineup for the heat race. Mason Haney in the 89, starting on the pole. Randy Rockwell, second. DC Smith, third outside of him. It's going to be Blake Brown, and then rounding out your top 10, it's Mikkel Lofson. Starting 6th, it's Matt George. 7th is going to be John Bartlett. Then, beside him, it's his brother, Donnie Bartlett. And then last but not least, we have the one of Colton Malone. So we're waiting to start our formation lap. And the pace truck is off. We're going to start pacing and completing the formation lap. Again, Mason Haney's going to be starting this heat race on the bottom. Randy Rockwell on the top. And this heat race should be a fun one. We got 9 cars in this one. So anything can happen. But I'd watch out for the driver starting on that high line, Randy Rockwell. Of course, this heat race won't matter for him because he will automatically be starting in the back during the feature. All right. It's now on the pace truck when he wants to pull in, and then we will be going green flag racing for heat race number 1. They're getting ready. All right, here we go. Pace truck pulls in.
Green flag, green flag.
And we are green flag racing here for heat race number 1 at Bristol. And Randy Rockwell already getting clear of Mason Haney. Mason Haney side by side gets a little bit squirrely off a 2, and that's going to allow Blake Brown to head right by. Matt George also gets by the 89, and here is the 2 machine of DC Smith now trying to get by Mason Haney side by side for second. Blake Brown got by Matt George, who was trying to challenge for that second spot. Oh! The 2 of DC Smith got a little bit squirrely. Him and the 89 make contact. Let's take a look at a little replay of that one right there from the perspective of the 89. So getting a little bit squirrely off of 4 is the 2, and he slides right up in front of Mason Haney. Mason Haney makes contact to the back of the 2, and he just moves right down the track right in front of the 89, and the 2 just make contact, and that sends the 89 of Mason Haney sideways. So that's definitely going to hurt his starting position. Got DC Smith trying to get up there to Colton Malone. He's got Donnie Bartlett under him. Can't quite get there. Also, John Bartlett's trying to get up there to Mason Haney for the 8th spot. This is the battle for last place. And Randy Rockwell, he's got to keep it clean through 3 and 4, and it's looking good. Looks like he's going to get our one and only heat race win here in the DIRTKars. Nicely done by that 181. Led from flag to flag. Now we are going to do an extra 3-minute warm-up to give these drivers a little bit more practice time. I also do want to mention that this league is also open setup as well. So that's just something to mention, something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and see. Let's watch who's going to be fastest here in our second practice. See who's going to jump to the top of the board first. I believe this is the first time lap for Randy Rockwell, who we're watching at the moment. He's got John Bartlett behind him. And Colton Malone jumps to the top first, 16.58. Randy Rockwell not able to beat that. He gets a 16.61, and then Donnie Bartlett third, 16.68. That time by DC Smith makes his way to third on the board with a 16.66, 500ths off of second place Randy Rockwell's best time. And DC Smith with a great time. Jumps to the top of the board, 16.39. Here in practice, he's got that 2 on a rail. Hopefully, maybe he can translate what he's doing right now in practice into the real race, because he's showing tremendous speed. We've now got less than 1 minute left here in practice, and oh! The 28 going on a Mars mission. Go ahead and see what happened with him. He was right by the 11 of John Bartlett. Looks like the 89 got loose in front of him and just slid up the track right into the 28's path. And that caught Blake Brown way off balance. He flies through the air like a torpedo, hits the ground, bounces a few times. Ouch. And he lands right on his bottom. Right there. And warm-up is ending with DC Smith on the top with a 16.27. Watch out for that 2 machine. He looked very, very stout in practice. He's starting in the 5th spot in the feature, so watch out for DC Smith. But here is our starting lineup, which is also technically our heat race results. Starting on the pole, we got the 181 of Randy Rockwell. Blake Brown starting beside him in the 28th. Then we got 3rd. It's Matt George outside of him. Colton Malone, and then rounding out your top 5, your leader in our second practice, DC Smith. Then 6th, it's going to be Donnie Bartlett. 7th, Mick Olofsson. 8th place, it's going to be Mason Haney. And then last but not least, it's going to be the 11 of John Bartlett. Here we go. They're off, getting ready for our formation lap. And oh, there we see the EOL given to the 181 of Randy Rockwell. Even though I read him as starting on the pole in our starting lineup, he will be starting in the back due to him winning 2 races in a row. So let's see if this will prevent him from getting 3 in a row, or if he can potentially make his way all the way up through the field. So that means, with Randy Rockwell moving to the back, Matt George will be starting on the pole. So this time by, the pace truck is going to pull in and we'll be green flag racing for the feature. Outside of him on the front row, we got Blake Brown. Now behind them, we got Colton Malone and DC Smith in 3rd and 4th. This starting lineup means nothing compared to what's about to go down for the finishing results. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Let's see how these drivers start, though.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out here at Bristol Motor Speedway for our 30-lap feature, and Matt George getting clear of Blake Brown, and already side by side for the lead. Here comes DC Smith. He was fast in our last practice. Not quite clear. The 29 and the 2 make contact. The 23. And DC Smith slides in front of the 23, able to get clear, taking the lead.
Man, caution is out.
Caution is out. Uh-oh, Randy Rockwell. Let's go ahead and take a look at our wreckage replay. See what happened. So looks like maybe a little bit of net code there between the 181 and the 11. They make contact. That sends the 11 a little bit loose. Randy Rockwell heads right by. And, ooh, right into the 75. Not once, not twice, but 3 times into Mick. And then both the 75 and the 181 get into the wall. We see his front 2 wheels get lifted off the air. Lots of damage on Randy Rockwell's machine. Looks like when the caution came out, it was DC Smith in the lead. Also, Randy Rockwell is in the pits. Dean Qualley says, hey, Atman. What's up, Dean? Hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast so far, as we're only a little bit into our 30-lap race. 23, Matt George started on the pole, and DC Smith flew right by. He was looking extremely fast in our second practice session after the heat race. We are about to go green flag racing this time by. Yep, restarting on the bottom is DC Smith. On the top, Matt George. Looks like everybody else behind them is single file. I believe this is a single file restart, but the front 2 remain side by side. And the pace truck pulls in. There we go. They get single file, and DC Smith fires. Getting a terrible restart was Blake Brown. Colton Malone able to fly right by the 28. I'm not sure if Colton might have gotten a passing before the start-finish line penalty. But Colton Malone is starting to catch our second-place driver, Matt George. Gets a great run on the high side, and he might make the pass on the high side as we enter 3 and 4. Looking good. Oh, the 28 gets into the wall. We saw them wreck behind, but looks like they were able to get it going, but we'll still look at the wreckage replay anyway. It looks like it was between the 28 and 29 of Blake Brown and Donnie Bartlett. Just on exit of 4. Oh, he just slid up the track. I think he thought he was clear of Donnie Bartlett, but he wasn't, and he slid right across the nose of the 29. No caution comes out, and we are less than 25 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Closest battle at the moment is for the 4th spot between Mason Haney and John Bartlett. Mason Haney trying to get up there. He didn't have quite the heat race performance that he'd wanted. Started 3rd to last, but he's made his way up through the field. He's going to run the high side, and that's going to fling the 89 right by the 11 of John Bartlett, but they stay side by side through 3 and 4, but as they exit 4, the 89 got a good run, and he's going to stay in 4th. John Bartlett staying with them. Nice battle going on between those two. But I think the 89 is clear for the most part right now over John Bartlett. Let's check out what's going on between Blake Brown and Donnie Bartlett. Remember, these two got in a wreck earlier in this race. And both of them, as you can see, have severely damaged Pro Late models, but they're still turning some decent times. Oh, and they also have Mikkel Lofsen joining the party as well. The 75's looking low, trying to get under Donnie Bartlett for 7th. Donnie Bartlett looks high, running on the cushion. He looks low, the 28-29. Both of them trade paint. And Donnie Bartlett gets a good run through the turns, but gets a little bit loose off of 4. And that's going to allow Blake Brown to move back into the 6th spot. Blake Brown, moves into 6th. And they stay single file for the most part for now. As we're catching up on 15 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and DC Smith is already starting to get by lap cars. He's about to pass Randy Rockwell, who was involved in a wreck early on. He's a lap down already, about to get potentially 2 or more laps down. And we look back, here's Don Bartlett looking low under Blake Brown for 6th. Ooh. That was close there. I thought they were going to make some contact. They keep it clean for the most part. '29 looks high. They stay single file as we enter 3 and 4. 29 looks low. Makes some contact with the rear quarter panel of Blake Brown. These two are battling hard. And this is only for the 6th spot. Every position counts on the racetrack, and Mikkel Lofsen is going for that 7th position, trying to get by Donnie Bartlett. Slides up the racetrack, almost got into the 29. And we're pretty much 3 wide right now. This is getting intense for the battle for 6th. Donnie Bartlett stays side by side with Blake Brown through 1 and 2. 28 gets a good exit. Can he get up there? And don't look now, we actually have a battle starting for the 3rd spot between Matt George and Mason Haney. Here comes Mason Haney. Gets right to the back bumper of Matt George. Matt George started this race on the pole. He's fallen to 3rd, and he might potentially lose another position as Mason Haney looks low. Couldn't quite get him there. Falls in back behind the 23. We might see him try to do something here in 1 and 2. Ooh, gets to the back bumper. That got the 89 real loose. What a save, though. That could have been a whole lot worse for Mason Haney. Luckily, he is able to save it. And Colton Malone is actually starting to catch DC Smith for the lead with only 5 laps to go.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
As I say that, caution comes out. Another wreck for Randy Rockwell. He's had a really, really rough night. And let's go ahead and check out what exactly happened to the 181. Started the race in the back because he won 2 in a row. And he's still in the back after lots of trouble. But let's see what happened this time for the 181. So I believe it happens here in 3 and 4. He runs that high line and he makes contact with the wall. You see the right rear gets lifted off the ground and he gets sideways. Our leader DC Smith barely avoids getting hit. That would have really stunk for DC Smith if he would have hit Randy Rockwell there. And he just rests in turns 3 and 4. Man, the nightmare night continues for Randy Rockwell. But DC Smith was never passed by Colt Malone. He stays in the lead, but that 0 was looking fast as he was catching up to DC Smith. And Randy Rockwell gets one of his laps back, but he remains a couple laps down. I'm not sure whether it's 1 or 2 laps down. But again, he's had a rough night. So I've lost track of the pace truck. I don't know how many laps till green. I think he's pulled in. We're about to go back green here. Yep. Oh, nope. This time by. We're going to go back green. My mistake. Here we go. Getting ready to head back green. We still have all 9 of our Pro Late models on the track. So it's still anybody's game. Or anybody's race, I guess you could say. We are back. Green flag racing.
Green.
Oh, the 0-0 of Colt Malone not having the restart he had wanted. And we see the big one here. We're going to get the Wreckage Replay up and ready for you. Ouch. So he's running that high line, getting ready to restart. He's in a great position, fighting for the lead. And then I don't know if the 23 might have made contact with him. But it's like he misses a shift or might have been starting in 4th gear. I don't know, but he like flies down, right down into the 89 of Mason Haney. Both of them head into the wall. And he flies right out in front of Donnie Bartlett. Donnie had nowhere to go. Mick able to avoid it. Same thing with Randy Rockwell, but man, a shame for those involved. But they're putting Colton Malone back in 2nd because he did have the position when the caution flag came out. But he does have a severely damaged Pro Late model from that wreck. About to go back green this time by. We're pretty much restarting the exact same way we did before we saw that little restart incident. There goes the 181 of Randy Rockwell. There we go. Randy Rockwell is finally back on the lead lap. So watch out for that 181 to try to make his way up to the field with only 5 laps to go. We know he's fast. He's got 2 wins already this season. There we go. Get a nice little view of the pace truck. DC Smith staying far away from the pace truck. So I haven't been able to see whether his lights are on or not, but the pace truck driver has turned his lights off, so we are going to be going back green here. Oh, my bad. Forgot to change it from the Wreckage Replay screen. Thank you everyone in the chat. As we still continue to pace. Let me look. Let's see. Again, DC Smith is so far away from the pace truck that I cannot see whether his lights are on or not. So we'll watch like this to see if he pulls in or not. There we go. Pace truck pulls in and we are back green flag racing here.
Green flag.
At Bristol Motor Speedway. Less than 5 laps to go here for the race. And here comes Matt George heading under Colton Malone for second. They're side by side as we enter 3 and 4. Gets a great run on entry at 3. He slides up in front of the 0. We got a new driver, but he gets a little bit loose off of 4. But he keeps it in second place. And now we have 3 laps to go. Oh, the 0 gets it loose, hits Mason Haney. Another big wreck for Colton Malone. And we are going to go to our Wreckage Replay. This time, I will actually show the replay. That was my mistake there. There we go. Actually remembered it this time. Let's check out what happened. Colton Malone just tags the wall a little bit while chasing Matt George. And he keeps rubbing his right side against the wall. And the right rear just gets lifted up. And that turns... And the 89 was running that high line. He had nowheres to go, right into that 0. Blake Brown plows into Colton Malone. Donnie Bartlett tried to avoid it by going high, but he just hits the wall. Ouch. Man. Another Colton Malone also having a nightmare of a night here at Bristol Motor Speedway. His car severely damaged. We do have Donnie Bartlett in the pits getting his damage fixed after getting involved in that one. Surprised Colton Malone didn't come in. Oh, he did. He manually disconnected. Pretty sure. One thing that hasn't changed is DC Smith remains in the lead, and Colton Malone was his main contender. He was up there with him, chasing him before our first caution came out. Or I believe it was the second one. And we are going to have a green-white checkered for our next restart. So the green flag will come out. We'll do one rotation around this thing to bring the white flag out, and then one more lap around Bristol, and then it'll be the checkered. So can DC Smith hold on to his lead? Or will somebody like Matt George try to challenge for it? We'll see right here. Green flag is back out here at Bristol Motor Speedway. DC Smith gets a great restart. Nice jump. And top 3 gets single file. John Bartlett's trying to chase Matt George for that second spot. And the white flag is out. DC Smith has pretty much led this one. He's led majority of this race, had an awesome performance. DC Smith takes the victory here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Matt George crosses the line in second. John Bartlett third. We saw Mason Haney fourth. Randy Rockwell able to salvage a fifth after having some early trouble. Blake Brown sixth. Seventh ended up going to Mick Olafson. Eighth was Donnie Bartlett, and having not the night he wanted, Colton Malone finishes last. But DC Smith continues to turn laps here at Bristol. There we go. He slows down. Mason Haney swings it loose off of 4. He disconnects, and DC Smith getting ready to celebrate his victory. The rest of the top 3 pulling beside him. They're going to take a photo. Got Matt George, John Bartlett. They're getting the picture. Anybody can take a screenshot of it. And oh, there you go. Matt George is blinking a little bit. That's okay. The race has ended. It's not going to affect anything. Is DC Smith going to celebrate? Looks like they are just going to sit there. So we'll go ahead, move, and take a look at the interview booth. Let's see. Here we go. Let's start off by pulling in third place finisher, John Bartlett. Hey, John, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you start the race second to last, and as soon as the green flag dropped, you worked your way up through the field like a rocket, able to make it through to third, and then you were up there trying to get up there to Matt George. If you would have had a couple more laps, I think you would have caught him, but I mean, from your perspective, what happened here at Bristol Motor Speedway?
Well, me and my couple of my teammates, we were talking about gears there, and I was just trying that out in the heat, and then we got my gear figured out, so I just went through the field there. That early caution kind of helped, and man, it was slick. It got slick real quick. Hats off to DC. We did a lot of trying out on this track, trying to get it figured out. Good job to Matt George. I don't think I would have been able to catch Matt. Me and Matt was kind of running the same line there after it slicked off. Everything was the high line, so hats off to Matt there, man. He deserves second place.
Now, looks like you were the biggest mover of the race. You moved up 6 spots. I mean, what was your strategy, to make your way up to the field when you saw that you were starting second to last?
Just gear change, man, and hopefully I did the right gear change, and with the track slicking off, that was my strategy there, and hopefully it stayed green, so that way track can flick off and just try to get up there. So that was my strategy for the race.
Awesome. Well, you did a great job. Ended up making your way up to third. Now, is there any sponsors, shout-outs, family members you want to thank or shout out before I let you go?
I'd like to thank Mick for putting this race on. I'd like to thank you guys for putting this on, broadcasting it. DIRTKars, Falcon Graphics, DC for working with me on this track here. My brother Donnie for working with us and trying to get better here. So we're just like a little team, just trying to get better at this. And my girlfriend Nicole for letting me put this little sim up there in her room and get it going.
For sure. Well, congratulations on 3rd place, and hopefully we'll see another good performance next week. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, thank you.
Let's go ahead and pull in 2nd place finisher, Matt George. Hey, Matt, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you started the race you started the race on the pole, and you led the first couple laps. DC was able to get by you, and then from there, we saw Colton Malone get by you, and you were chasing him, and then we saw him get into that little wreck on the restart, and you stayed in 2nd for the rest of the race. I mean, from your perspective, what happened here at Bristol?
Well, it's not really that fun of a track, but we came and competed. Yeah, we had a little mix-up on the restart. It's under review, we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, I feel like we had a pretty good run. The bottom started coming in towards the end of the race, and maybe if we had a few more laps, I maybe could have got by DC. But other than that, pretty good run tonight.
So, in your opinion, how did the track evolve throughout this race?
It involved pretty good. I mean, the top was there most of the night, and then as later on in the race, the bottom started coming in really well. And if it would have been a longer race, I definitely think we could have pulled off the win.
I don't disagree there. Well, still 2nd place, pretty good performance. Is there any shout-outs, family member, sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, the guys back at Hood Up Motorsports, the team helping me out. Knoll Industries, TCH Auto Truck Repair, JDM Designs, Steve Heath Racing Engines, 913 Motorsports, Longhorn Chassis. It's all a great group of guys.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your victory, 2nd place, and hopefully we'll see another good performance next week. Have a great rest of your night.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And last but not least, let's go ahead and pull in our winner, DC Smith. Hey, DC, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, you started the race in the 3rd position and able to make your way up through the field like a rocket after Matt George led the first couple laps, able to get by him, and there's no looking back for you. Led pretty much the entire race, and even when Colton Malone looked like he was going to catch you, you were still able to hold him off and just ended up getting the win in an overall dominant performance. But, I mean, from your point of view, what exactly happened here at Bristol Motor Speedway?
We just got lucky on the start. I think Matt kind of missed the bottom a little bit. I let me go ahead and get by him there, and then we were really good on the bottom, and as soon as it went away, everybody was up top and kind of gave me a big lead. I think I had 2-second leads, what I was told, and tried to do that, keep that nice gap, and then just kind of messing around with a lap car that just kind of in the way, and decided to spin out. That we got lucky and missed him on that, and just key on getting good starts and getting a gap, trying to maintain it.
For sure. Now, coming into this race, I mean, what was your strategy that ended up getting you the win?
This is not a track I like. I try not to even run here. It's probably my most hated track, but I know me and John and Donnie Bartlett, we spent a lot of time trying to figure something out for this place, and I feel like it definitely paid off in the end.
If it seems like that, ended up getting the win. Well, congratulations on the win. Is there any shout-outs, family member, sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Just the Bartlett brothers for the work that we put in, and my wife for giving me the time to practice and race. That's pretty much it. You guys for the broadcast, we appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we might potentially see 2 in a row next week. Have a great rest of your night. That'll do it here for the broadcast of DIRTKars Season 2. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. As always, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated, as we are on the road to 2,000 followers on YouTube and 1,000 still on Twitch and YouTube. So check us out on all 3 platforms. Also check us out on Twitter. I got a Twitter poll up right now, so you can answer that yourself. Want to know what you think? And we're also on the road to 50 followers on the Twitter page. It's an Intensity Broad 1 on Twitter. Check us out on there. And then also, if you haven't already, if you have Roku TV or Fire TV, make sure to download the eRacing TV app, because on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Intensity Broadcasting's broadcasts are broadcasted on eRacing TV, and you can have us on the big screen. So make sure to download the eRacing TV app on Roku TV and Fire TV. As always, I'm Atlee Ant-Man-Weiss on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Over and out.